be getting right into tonight's opening heat, the qualifying procedure. The top 4 riders out of the 2 qualifying heats advancing to the main event with the advantage of gaining first choices at the gate. The rest of the field goes on to the semis, where the top 5 riders from each semifinal round get a shot at the big money. Only 2 more spots to be determined, and that comes in the last chance qualifier. 20 riders in all in the 250 main event. A special treat early this year. First time since 1994, a champion and a former champion line up on the gate together. And as I say, we got a special treat early because a preview of their rivalry comes right here in the opening heat. Emig with his second place finish in the opener, McGrath a third in Los Angeles.
Starting right next to each other. The 30-second board is up.
Okay, we're set to go now for the first qualifying heat from the Astrodome, and it looks like we'll have a record crowd. There you see it, Jeremy McGrath and Jeff Emig. Emig number 1, McGrath number 2, but we've got a lot of other riders. Albertine, Ward, Henry, Hughes, Lawrence, Button, Kyle Lewis, his first race of the season, and Canadian Sebastian Roy. As we start revving up now, they're off and our first heat is underway. Emig, a great jump. Can he hold it to the inside? McGrath cuts in front. Jeremy McGrath through the whoop section. It's Jimmy Button, number 11, Jeff Emig, number 1. And number 10, Ryan Hughes, along with Albertine.
Jeff Hedden, number 64, gone down on the whoop, stuck under the bike. Looks like he'll be up and ready to rejoin the action, but what a slick move by Jeremy in the first corner.
Jeremy McGrath has been extremely fast in practice, and he's just taking away here early in qualifying heat number 1. Emig is behind him.
Well, he looks great, but when he looks over his shoulder, he's going to see that number 1 plate. And if he can't ditch him, that'll start to bother him a little bit.
Oh, Albertine, number 7 on the Team Suzuki, just leaped into third, getting around Ryan Hughes. Remember, the top 4 make it to the main event out of this opening qualifying heat.
The way it looks right now, you got Ryan Hughes, Phil Lawrence, Larry Ward. If they don't make a move and catch up, they're going to have to go to the semi. So the action this year is so deep. Heat races are very tense.
Number 2, Jeremy McGrath trying to regain the championship. Here comes Jimmy Button. He's the teammate of Jeremy McGrath. He cuts into second place. Number 11, but Jeff Emig comes firing right back off the triple.
That's what Emig is so good at. Just when you think you got him passed, he comes right back, catches you off guard. These guys are starting to lose just a little bit of time to McGrath now. And a little bit of time is a lot when you got guys of this caliber. Everyone's so equal.
Taking a look at this Houston track as they come off the Altman Mountain. C.E. Altman, one of the pioneers of Supercross, lived right here in Houston. Each year they build a memorial jump, really, or a memorial mountain for C.E.
That's a big one. It's a double up, double down, 90-degree corner, and a variety of lines through there. Kevin Windham had an interesting one in there in practice. Can't wait till the next heat race to see that.
Jeremy through the whoops in first, followed by number 1, Jeff Emig, and number 11. What a great shot. Here comes Button once again. He likes to test Emig on the whoop section.
Now he senses that Emig's not getting through there with a lot of aggression in practice. Emig went down there, doesn't like the whoops tonight, struggling a little bit, and he's just playing his cool right there. That's the only place that Button is much faster, and it's not a one-line situation through there, so he's trying to attack.
You know, we're going to have quite a fight on the bubble there with number 10 and number 7. Ryan Hughes and Greg Albertine are battling it out. Who will prevail? Which 4 riders will make it to the main event after our... Jeff Emig went down. It's almost like a flat track turn coming out of the S's there.
Very tricky. They come across the starting line. There's no berm. There's no nothing. Just hard, slick. You're trying to set up for the triple. We're going to get a replay right here. What happened? You see Emig just coming out of a berm. Gets onto the flat ground. He'll get into another left-hander here before the triple. Front end starts to go. His foot wasn't out there to help him save it. Down he went. There went Button.
So Emig has, or I should say, Jeremy McGrath has a huge lead on his teammate Jimmy Button in second place. There's a lapper in between them. And then we've got Hughes, number 10, in third. Greg Albertine now in fourth. with Kawasaki of Mexico's Phil Lawrence in 5th place.
McGrath right here really making a statement. He's letting these guys know, hey, I don't have to get the whole shot. I can be smart in the first corner, come out with the lead. We'll probably see him start to show off a little bit, show us some of that confidence off the triples. With the big lead he's got, he looked great in practice.
David, we must have about 4 laps remaining, and Lawrence is just too far behind. I think he's about 3 seconds behind, unless something should happen to Greg Albertine. Our top 4 are pretty well defined.
He's spread out right now. I don't see these guys really racing for much. Just get to the main. So hard to do this year. Right now, McGrath has just lapped Doug Henry, who had a great start going to the first corner. Got bumped out over the berm. Had to rejoin the action about mid-pack and went down again.
What a good race here for number 11, Jimmy Button. Staying up on top. He stays upright. He is very fast. He's in for an enjoyable year, I think, as a backup rider with Jeremy, don't you think?
Well, they're friends. They ride together, and a lot of the attention that Jeremy gets, there's some spill over to Button, and that's always good for your confidence.
Let's get down to the floor of the stadium. Davey Coombs.
I'm down here with Ron Wood. This is Ryan Hughes mechanic. Hey, how's Rhino's back? We know it's a big problem in L.A.
His back is pretty good. He had a little bit of a foot problem as well. The foot problem is more of an issue tonight. But this is his kind of track. It's kind of a hard pack track and really fast and a lot of momentum. And he's really good at it, so he's doing okay so far.
He's doing very well. Ryan Hughes, who was riding with a great deal of pain. And you know what that's like, David Bailey.
Well, he crashed on a triple jump, I guess, and didn't make it. Jumped off the bike, landed on his feet. Imagine absorbing that impact. And then in favoring that, he had some back problems. Then he got the flu. I mean, I can't even believe he raced L.A. And then last year, he had food poisoning. So the opening round hasn't been friendly to Ryan Hughes, but I expect him to pick it up.
So that lends good reason to a 14th place finish in the opener in the Los Angeles Coliseum.
McGrath right now over the finish line jump, starting to work that bike in the air, letting the feet fly. And what's happened is C19, our lapped rider there, Doug Henry, has let Jeremy get around, not interfering with the race, but he's studying everything that McGrath is doing. That's going to be a good lesson because McGrath is on tonight.
2 laps remaining. Next time around, we'll see the white flag for Jeremy McGrath.
Good shot of Albertine over the triple. Can't quite close that gap on Hughes. Over jumping that just a little bit, kind of a hard landing. The jumps here are pretty big, a little bit harder to adjust to than most of the tracks are pretty tight, a lot of ruts. Nice to come to Houston and see a nice clean face on most of these triple jumps.
One thing about this turf too, it gets hard, but it doesn't break down.
Now you can see right there, this is the corner where Emick went down, right where Jeremy just passed through, hard and slick, and you just got to takes excellent balance and good throttle control right there.
The white flag for Jeremy McGrath.
Look for a knack-knack. The crowd's already on its feet here on the close side. Jeremy looking really strong.
Confident this is his kind of track. Finesse and speed. The knack-knack. And we go to Ryan Hughes. Jimmy Button also on his way to the main event.
Crowd just standing up like the wave this whole last lap, following Jeremy around. He's got one more opportunity for that patented knack-knack. Technical little tricky section here. Triples through that midsection. And you get into those flat, slick corners. Pishon was awesome there in practice. Great throttle control. Likes the ruts, and he likes the hard, slick stuff.
Jeremy McGrath. The fans are standing. He gives him a good salute. And the checkers for Jeremy McGrath. Our opening qualifier is history. Davey Combs will be talking with Jeremy when we return.
Are you ready for more action, more danger, more impact? Well, your wait is over. The hottest, most intense, extreme Crash Impact ever. Crash Impact 2. 70 minutes of explosive, heart-stopping crash action. You have to see to believe. All new crashes from Superbikes, Harley Series, drag racing, stock cars, sprint cars, Supercross, Indy cars, flat track, and more. All jam-packed on 2 tapes for only $19.
Take a look at the Phil Lawrence, Doug Henry, my goodness gracious, Larry Ward along in that bunch. It looks like a heat race going to the semifinals.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the privateers in the semis. That's where their chances start to look better, but not here so far.
Davies with Jeremy on the winner's podium.
That's right, Art. Jeremy, way to ride. You look like the old Jeremy McGrath from way back when. Fantastic.
Yeah, I was concentrating on getting a good start. You know, my Chaparral Yamaha 1-800 clicked. While the bike is hauling ass.
Hey, tell us about the track. It looks like you're having a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, the track's good. It's got a lot of air, and there's a couple big triples out there. The finish line jump's really, really fun, and you know, it's a pretty tough track. I mean, there's a few things that are pretty demanding out there, and you got to keep on your toes.
Yeah. How about a little mental victory? Jeff Emig fell down chasing after you.
Yeah, I don't know whether Jeff was in second. I was trying to be like my old self, you know, in '96, and try and concentrate on the track and pay attention to myself and not pay attention to anyone else. And that's what I did. And I rode really smooth. And if I can get another start like that in the main, I'll be pumped.
All right, we'll watch for it.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, it does look like the Jeremy McGrath of old, except he's got a little bit more weight around the cheeks, don't you think? He's not quite as immature looking as he used to be.
No, but
he's grown up fast.
As long as he can ride like that, I don't think it matters.
We have the French connection in the heat number 2 of the qualifying round. The winner in Los Angeles, you just saw him, Tortelli, and right there with Tony Berluti as mechanic, giving him instructions, Mikel Pichon. Pichon looked very fast in that race in Los Angeles, Davey Coombs. How about this French connection?
Well, I'll tell you what, Art, that's a good point. A lot of people are saying there's a new future to American Supercross. And the funny thing is, they're both from France. As you had just mentioned, 19-year-old Sebastian Tortelli, just on top of it, is his best race I've ever seen him ride. I saw him ride in Europe a few times. And you know what? It was also Mikel Pichon's best race. If Pichon hadn't fallen early, we might have had France going 1 and 2. But that was on a wet, ruddy track, a lot like they have in Europe. We'll see how different it is here tonight in the Houston Astrodome. Very hard packed track.
Joining Tortelli and Pichon is Kevin Windham, Michael Craig, Mike LaRocco, Damon Huffman, Michael Brown, Ezra Lusk, Lance Smale on a 2-stroke, Jeff Dement from nearby Humble, Texas. A local trying to make it into the main event along with all the other riders. But so many big names this year, so many potential winners, David.
I mean, I'm not just saying this to try to make it sound good on the show. There are probably a dozen riders that have a legitimate shot at winning each week. For the entire series, that narrows down a little bit with consistency and experience, but boy, race by race, it is just exciting to watch. It's almost impossible to pick a winner, but there you get a good look at Kevin Windham, who dazzled the fans in the opening ceremonies with a front wheel wheelie that I've never seen anything like it. It looked like trick riding. He rode it maybe 25, 30 yards on the front wheel. He's got a line out here that if he gets in the clear off that CE mountain, it's just amazing. He'll pull away a couple seconds a lap just in that one area.
So we had a surprise in our opening qualifier. Something tells me we're in for a lot of surprises tonight. As the 30-second board is up, when that goes sideways, that means they have about, anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds and the gate will drop. But starts are so important on a finesse, hard-packed track like this.
They are, and it's interesting to see that the best riders, the favorite, the guys aren't starting right near that starting booth in the middle like they usually do. They're pretty spread out because it's a long start here and a sweeping first left-hand turn. So
the board is sideways. Heat number 2 is underway. Who will get the whole shot? Number 100 is Mike Brown. To the inside is Kevin Windham, number 8. Brown goes down, and Windham is our leader. Number 3, Ezra Lusk from Team Honda in second place. And Damon Huffman, number 15, Team Kawasaki in third.
Now here we go with maybe some fireworks. You've got Kevin Windham and Ezra Lusk, who are apparently carrying some, I wouldn't say bad blood, but they're carrying something ever since Japan. They got together in the heat race in the last lap at the first round in LA. They got together again in the main event. There was a little bit of a starting line argument because Lusk was late to the gate for the main, some fighting there, and here they are together again. They talked today, and apparently Windham went up and said, look, what's the deal? And they have it worked out.
Tortelli has moved into 4th. So Sebastian Tortelli is right in front of Mike LaRocco on the bubble. That's the final qualifying spot here in qualifying heat number 2. Only 4 riders going directly to the main. That'll be interesting with the veteran LaRocco, who's won here in Houston before. In fact, even won back in 125 days.
A lot of experience. These guys haven't raced much together. I talked about that at our first round. A lot of these guys haven't raced much with Tortellis. They don't know how to act around them.
4 more riders will qualify for the main event when we come back. Welcome back to the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Coombs. Our leader still Kevin Windham with Ezra Lusk right behind him. This is the battle for third. Number 15 is Damon Hoffman. Sebastian Tortelli, 103. And right behind them, Mike LaRocco. We switch back to the leaders. Ezra Lusk showing a wheel to Kevin Windham. Windham Team Yamaha, his first full year in 250s. Won the 250 in Charlotte last year. The first active 125 rider to win a 250 Supercross. One of the 4 first-time winners on the season. For that matter, so was Ezra Lusk right behind him.
As you saw these guys go over there's the problem. What happened was you saw Ezra Lusk drag that hay bale out in the middle of the track. Tortelli came through there and clipped it. Dropped a spot. So LaRocco's now in the main if he can stay where he is.
So Ezra Lusk challenging now. Down the whoops. Right in front of him, Kevin Windham with 5 laps remaining here in our second qualifying heat. We've seen great racing already. Look out for the semis. I'm telling you, that gets bar to bar on this track.
Windham has got to be sick and tired of Lusk hounding him. He did it in the entire heat race at LA. Here you go again. It looks to me like Lusk is maybe a little quicker. If he could get around, he might pull away a little bit. But it's tough to pass. Windham knows just where to go to hold that line. He's not blocking. He just knows just where to go to take away his options.
Don't forget, Tortelli crashed in the first qualifying heat in Los Angeles. Came back to win the semifinal and then went on to win the race. They go into the S's. That's Mikel Pichon. So it looks like he'll be going into the semifinal round. He just went off the track. And he was just getting up to 6th position behind LaRocco. Here we go again through the roof.
Not following everyone's favor in the middle down the end of that through the whoop section.
Fans are standing up, but there's going to be no knack-knacks, no heel clickers here. Not with that rivalry going on.
Lusk is fast in the whoops.
Look out, here comes Lusk off the plateau. Kevin Windham just keeps the edge, barely. Into the rhythm section.
It impresses me that Lusk is able to take some different options here and there that aren't necessarily the fastest and still stay right on the rear fender of Windham.
He doesn't get into the rut. He goes up top. So Kevin Windham moving around on the track quite a bit. Here comes Ezra Lusk on the flat track side. They go into the S's. They bang bars. Windham's got the advantage coming out of here.
You know, I was talking with some of the people after practice, and they thought, well, I don't know, that S-turn's kind of hokey. It's kind of tight. I don't think you can see any passing. Well,
I think it's great.
Perfect example of how good that's going to be.
3 laps to go, and still a battle for first place.
This is going to be good. They're going to catch up to some lappers here at the end of the section.
Ezra Lusk going to the outside. Can Windham go to the inside here? Oh, barely. Oh, baby. Here comes Lusk. Bar to bar. Look out underneath. Holy mackerel, Lusk has got the lead.
Stood up through that corner, too. He's making it look easy. Windham just backed off right there.
Ezra Lusk, don't mislead yourself. A 16th in Los Angeles.
Goslar telling him to be smart.
The 16th in LA is no indication as to how this guy can ride.
Now, I think if he wouldn't have had a lineup on the outside of that main event, it might have been a whole different story. Lusk, there's a lot of people walking around the pits after practice and feel like if he just keeps it on 2 wheels, he's going to win this thing.
Last year early, Emig and McGrath both had double-digit number races, and they both ended up fighting for the title. Let's go to Davey.
Hey, thanks. I'm down here with Mike Goslar. Mike, it seems like Yogi and Windham are just together all the time now.
Yeah, it seems like they're magnets, you know, and they're attracting one another. Just the way things are going.
No bad blood after LA?
I don't think so. I think they're kind of over whatever happened out there.
That's good to hear.
It really is, especially when Mike Goslar right there, who was Steve Lamson's mechanic for years, working with Ezra Lusk in Ezra's first year at Team Honda. He knows how to keep him cool, I think.
Yep, he's a good kid. He's got all new surroundings, and they didn't want to have anything happen. It's too early in the year to start any trouble.
And Windham looking like he's going to settle for second place, is 6 seconds behind number 3, Ezra Lusk. Lusk is the flag bearer for Team Honda. With Lampson getting the preseason injury, the broken collarbone, he won't be back for another at least 5 weeks or so. The white flag for Ezra Lusk. Final lap of our first opening qualifying round.
Look at Lusk through the whoop section. He runs his bars up pretty high and his levers up pretty high as well, out pretty straight. Wyndham through there. He's back down just a notch. He may have been getting pushed just a little bit hard, and it's possible his arms could have pumped up, and it was just inevitable that Lusk was going to get around. But
Damon Huffman in third. Admiral Rocco is in fourth. As Tortelli, this guy won't give up. He's still weeding up through the field, but he's run out of time.
Huffman had a good run going in L.A. until he got caught up with Albertine. No telling where he would have been going, but it looked to me like he was going to the front. Still, Lusk is just putting time on everybody right now, about a second faster than anyone else per lap. That's a lot of time. 20-lap final. If he gets a start, that's 20 seconds.
The checkers are waiting for Ezra Lusk taking the final turn. Ezra Lusk wins our second qualifying heat in grand style. Davey will be talking with him, and we'll take a look at the King of the Astrodome when we return here in Houston.
What's the right grip feel?
Took place.
Coming into some lappers at the end of the whoop section, Lusk decided to carry his momentum to the outside, get a good burst of power, had to cross through that roost of Wyndham. Wyndham couldn't build up his speed heading into that triple. Plus, Lusk controlled the inside. A little bit of a hard landing there, but nothing that Wyndham could do right here to retaliate. He just backed off.
You don't think Honda, they're jumping up and down over there? They haven't won since May, back in 1996, when Jeremy McGrath won the finale.
Well,
Ezra Lusk, Kevin Wyndham, Damon Huffman, Mike LaRocco advanced to the main event now as those 4 riders doing exceptionally well. Let's go down to Davey, who's, I'm sure, with a very happy Ezra Lusk.
Yeah, that's right, Art. He is happy, but at the same time, pretty calm. Now, for someone who just had a knockdown drag out like that with Kevin Wyndham, you seem pretty relaxed, Yo.
Well, that's been the key all along for me, is try to be relaxed and go fast. And I just hung behind Kevin for a couple laps. He had a couple really interesting lines over there, and I was watching that, and I didn't really want to do it because I thought it'd be too tough to do every lap. So he quit doing it, and I just rode smooth.
A lot of people say the key to this track might be that whoop section. It looks like so far what we've seen tonight, you're the fastest guy through there.
Man, I tell you what, my Dunlop tires and my CR Honda just really hooked me up going through those whoops, and I stay on top of them all the way through, and they feel great.
Last question, did you watch McGrath at all when he won that first heat race?
Yeah, I'm really interested in seeing what kind of times our heat races was, just to see how fast he was going. He looked great. You know, I can't take anything away from the guy, but it's going to be a good main event.
Well, it's fun to watch Supercross on television, but you really ought to witness the excitement in person. Next, we head to Phoenix before heading to the Pacific Northwest, and then it's get out the sandals and hit the beaches of San Diego. Indianapolis on February 14th. Atlanta's on the 21st. Tampa is added to the schedule before Daytona on March 7th. And the 14th, it's a return to New Orleans. Then Minneapolis, St. Louis, Pontiac, Charlotte, Dallas, and the finale in Las Vegas, where the way things are going right now, I expect it to go right down to the wire in Las Vegas. You know, the Astrodome is the 3rd oldest Supercross venue, coming on board after Los Angeles and Daytona. All the great names have raced here, but the king of the Astrodome is a shared honor. Back in the days of the doubleheaders, Mark Barnett and Bob Hanna, 5 wins apiece, as you see. Jeff Ward, 4 consecutive years he won here. No doubleheaders in his count. Jeremy McGrath, Damon Bradshaw, and Tony DiStefano with 3 wins. And even our David Bailey picked up the victory, one of 9 single winners here at the Astrodome. But right now, with one of the kings of the Astrodome, Davey Combs.
That's right, Art. You get to sit up there at the Legend every Saturday night, but I got Mark Barnett with me right now, and this guy is a motocross and Supercross legend, and also, as you said, 5-time winner here at the Houston Astrodome. Mark, is this a really tough track tonight? Is this a tough one to win?
It looks like a pretty tough track so far. It's a lot of technical stuff out there, and a lot of guys are going fast, so it's going to be difficult to win if you get a bad start.
You know, back in the day, they used to have double headers here. They'd race on Friday night and then come back on Saturday, or maybe Saturday and Sunday. How tough were those?
Well, it was pretty tough to race 2 nights in a row, but you can either have a good weekend or a bad weekend. So if you did bad the first night, you could do good the second night or have 2 good nights. So that it really worked out both ways. You can have 2 good ones and 2 bad ones.
Okay. All right, well, thanks for taking a moment to talk to us, Mark, and back up to you guys.
Ezra win. I need a new helmet. Ezra started that tradition last year, really, with his first win, and he went on to take another win, and he gave away his helmet to the crowd. I'm not so sure he'll do that this time around. More action when we return to the Astrodome. Series, and boy, do we see some fantastic action in the opening 2 heats. Ezra Lusk, Jeremy McGrath, very, very fast. Just as fast as they looked in practice yesterday. They have not lost a beat.
They're going quick, and to me, just a notch above everybody else in their heat races. But the thing that's interesting to me is that McGrath, out of the first 4 finishers at the first round, is the only guy that's qualified. The rest of them have to go to the semi. But on the other hand, Lusk, the new guy that's joining him, is 3 seconds faster, his heat race time overall. So Lusk is there. He's going to bother Jeremy if they get good starts.
And David, I still think as the evening goes on, this dirt here in the Houston Astrodome gets slicker. It does not break down, and I think Doug Henry might have a chance of pulling up there with those 2 leaders in speed.
That's true. That's true. He got a good start, but he got pushed wide, and having to go to the semi doesn't necessarily mean he won't be there for the main, because the configuration of the start, as long as it is with that big wide first corner, doesn't really matter where you start. So the fact that he has to go to the semi and get a worse pick shouldn't affect him much with all that horsepower.
Well, we got some great action coming up. The semis. As we take a look at the Suzuki track map, David, there's a lot to talk about here in the Houston layout.
Well, it's big, just like everything in Texas, and it starts off with a huge starting line, about 100-yard shot to a big first turn, a wide sweeper right into the whoops. At another 100 yards of those, so it's not giving anyone problems till the very end. Then on to the first of 2 triples, some more rhythm sections, and then a big mountain, CE mountain, a double up, double down, 90-degree corner into another couple of mini triples. Switchbacks across the starting line to another triple and a huge finish line jump, and McGrath says it's fun.
He made it look fun. As we go to the semifinals, the top 5 riders will make it to the main event after this first semifinal round. Phil Lawrence, Jeff Emig slid out in the qualifying heat. He's in this one. Larry Ward. Kyle Lewis is one of the few races that he'll be running before he returns to Japan to race for Suzuki Japan. And Doug Henry is in this semifinal round after a wide first turn in the qualifying heat. Then more problems. He consigned himself to practice run right behind the leader, Jeremy McGrath. Checking out number 1. Let's see who gets the whole shot. Emig's in good position to go where he wants to go. Number 19 is Henry right behind him, and it's Emig. Emig with the whole shot. There's Larry Ward, number 4. Team Suzuki in 2nd place. Henry got boxed out and is currently in 5th.
Well, he didn't get out over the gate good enough. Got blocked in. Couldn't apply that power, but not too bad right now. He's in qualifying position if he stays where he is.
In 3rd place is Ryan Terlecki from Salem, Oregon.
See what Ward does with Emig here. Emig's been just a little off all day. Didn't look good in the heat. Didn't look any better in either of the practice sessions. And Ward already starting to try some different lines on him.
We've got Emig, Ward, and now Henry has moved into 3rd.
That was slick. He was in 5th the last time I looked.
Do you think as the track gets slicker, though, that 4-stroke will be to a little bit more advantage despite the weight?
I think so. Look at Las Vegas. Last round, the first time a 4-stroke ever won a Supercross. It was probably one of those slipperiest races on the circuit. Came away with a win there. Starting to close on these guys. There you see him in 3rd, entering the whoops. These guys are starting to favor the middle. That rut's getting...
Emig and Ward going at it.
Ward thought he had a move there. Even if you can make a pass and can't make it stick, make it. Make that guy think. Make Emig worry about the next time he comes through there.
Okay, it is Ward, Emig, Henry. Five riders will go to the main event out of this one. Phil Lawrence has moved up a notch.
Interesting section through here. Switchbacks across the starting line. There's the corner where he fell in the heat race. Through there clean. He's able to hold off that early charge of Ward, but they're getting into the whoops again. This is where he's been uncomfortable today. See if Ward gets a run at him again. Now Henry's a lot closer.
Coming out of the whoops, Emig's got a good line. Ward couldn't get to it. Look at Henry, though. Take the inside line with that power.
Now,
1, 2, 3.
I think there's been some talking in the Yamaha semi. Watch Henry. He's going to go wide here and try a little different timing. This is what Wyndham was doing in the heat race. He hops over that, makes the pass.
Into second place, Doug Henry. So it's Emig, Henry, and Larry Ward.
Now, that's what we heard Lust talking about after this heat race, saying that Wyndham had a line there. It was pretty hard to do, and Henry's doing it on a 4-stroke, so I think he's pretty comfortable on that bike, despite it's about 10 pounds heavier. Imagine strapping a 10-pound dumbbell to you, trying to go out there and ride some laps. It's inconvenient, but Doug's working with it.
Keep it right here. Here comes Henry through the woods. Can he get Emig? He shows him a wheel, but has to back off. He doesn't want to overextend himself right now. Henry to the inside, but Emig gets the slingshot effect into the triple.
Still a good strategy by Henry to apply that pressure, show him a wheel, take different lines, get the crowd into it, force that guy to start riding your race, starting to ride defensive. And here comes the line again. Watch Henry.
Emig, Henry, Henry, Emig. Oh, Doug Henry.
Boy, that's the line right there. Sails over the top of all that stuff. Now Emig, if he can stay close and learn that. One thing if he can learn what he's doing different, another thing will be doing it, because it sounds like it's pretty tough.
So we got Henry, Emig, along with Larry Ward, then Phil Lawrence, and then Kyle Lewis. And their positions are not being threatened, even though they're way behind the top 3. Let's go to Davey.
Okay, I'm down here with Pete Steinbrecher. Pete, is that a line, that jump over there, is that a line that Doug got from Kevin Wyndham?
I think they both talked about it, but whether Doug got it or Kevin got it first, I guess we really don't care as long as they both use it and maybe be on top tonight.
Well, here they go again. He's heading to that section. Emig's going to be watching. And Art, I thought when I heard that Henry was riding the 4-stroke the whole season in Supercross that bike just wasn't going to cut it, but he's proven me wrong.
5 more riders will come out of this semi to go to the main event. The race to the checkers when we return.
Are you
back to the Astrodome as we are entering the semifinal rounds? Doug Henry is now pulling quite a lead on Jeff Emig. It is the white flag lap.
I don't think any of these top 3 are going to really be that anxious to change their positions, just get to the main.
Now it looks like Henry, Emig, Ward, Phil Lawrence, Kawasaki of Mexico, and then Kyle Lewis, who's riding a Privateer Suzuki before going back to Japan. He broke his collarbone in the 5th round of that series in Japan, so he did not really vie for the title, even though he ended up 3rd in points in the Japanese National Championships.
Now here's something interesting to me. Emig has seen Henry do that line a couple of times now. Still hasn't tried to do it himself. He's going to have to do that in the main event. That's nerve-wracking when you head into a main event. You need to jump something you haven't jumped before.
The checkers are out. Doug Henry, Jeff Emig, and Larry Ward, the top 3. It looks like it'll be Lawrence and Kyle Lewis. And we'll get the official roster when we return.
discover the amazing hitting?
Mantle hit a home run, the first home run here in the Astrodome back in 1965 in April. But Doug Henry hit a home run right there, David Bailey.
Great line. He and Kevin talking that line over, no doubt. Worked for the win.
These 5 riders advancing to the main event, and all veterans. Henry, Emig, Ward, Lawrence, and Lewis. Mikel Pichon, as we see him right there, getting ready for semifinal number 2.
After a lot of success in LA, 32nd card goes up. Look at Pichon right there, putting the goggles on. These guys wait till the last minute. It gets hot in there. Keep that air on your face. The French invasion has had to invade the semi. Looked like they had the chance to be 1 and 2 there in the way they were riding. And first round in LA, there's number 22, Tim Ferry, also in the semi.
Tim Ferry with no lean Yamaha this year. Kind of got rooked out of defending his 125 title that he won last year just with the change of the rules. Here we go, semifinal number 2. Pichon, but he's going to have to go wide. It's Tim Ferry, number 22. Ferry. And then we've got Michael Brown, 100. There's Mikel Pichon. Where is Tortelli? Tortelli is back mid-pack.
That guy can pass, but the problem is this isn't a 20-lap race. He made all his passing at the first round in the late part of the race.
Here we take a look at the battle for second. Pichon and Mike Brown. Michael Brown last year going the GP circuit in the 125s. He had to go 45-minute motos there, so he came back in shape. But he came back really wanting to come back to America and establish himself with Honda of Troy. Oh, Pichon goes.
Pichon went down hard, took down Brown. Brown had nowhere to go, hit his bike. Brown up and going. No doubt if something's bent on his bike, it's going to be hard for him to get back up front. So the bad start for Tortelli. Well, that's going to make it a little easier for him to get back to the main event.
Take another look, see what happened.
Pichon right here
16.
going for a triple there. He's trying to go for 3, didn't quite come close. I think he got a little lucky there where he just scrubbed off the top of that jump. Now watch the bike, catches Brown in the air.
It hits him in the head. One tire hit him right in the head. Ferry, a big lead now. Michael Craig in second place. Robbie Skaggs in third. And Pichon, that's his father with him right there.
I hope he's okay. His ride is so good. He made it through the first round where he had so much trouble there last year with leg injury, and I hate to see him get hurt now. He's in contention for a win at any race the way he's been riding today, and yesterday he was the fastest in practice according to Roger DeCoster's watch.
The checkers will fly with 5 more riders not having to sweat out the last chance qualifier. All the answers coming up in a moment.
Look at the pack. I think that it's inevitable. Tortelli's going to move around. It's a question of where. This kid got real. There you get Pichon walking away. Looks like he's going to be all right, but it's the last chance.
Let's go down to Davey.
Okay, Mikhail, we saw that crash. That was horrifying, but looks like you're okay.
Yeah, I made a stupid mistake. I mean, I catched that jump before, and I still tried to make a triple. And I catched that triple very hard, went over the bar. I just got knocked out because I landed on my head. But I feel good overall. I just need to drink a little bit and get back on the. I didn't know where I was after the crash. I'm getting better now already.
Well, Davey, it looks like he just made the John Madden all-tough team with that crack across the bridge of his nose. We're down to 3 laps to go here in our second semifinal round. A good break for Tortelli.
Yeah, I knew he was going to have to get in a hurry, and he was going to have to get around Brown and Pichon. That would have been tough.
Ferry has an 9-second lead now on Michael Craig, and a very similar lead on Tortelli in third.
Ferry's riding good in this race. There's a look at him through those switchbacks.
2 laps remaining in our semifinal round.
Brown starting to move up.
What a bad break for Brown. Should he have to go to the last chance qualifier?
Well, he just moved into 5th. They're getting around Skaggs. That should be okay, but that could have been a lot worse. That bike just swung right around of Pichon's and took him out in the air. Craig got kind of tangled up in that mess, too. Didn't go down.
And the young man from Humboldt, Texas, Jeff DeMent, looks like he might make it into the main event. To the pleasure of the Texans here. Jeff DeMent in 4th behind Tortelli, and then Brown in 5th, as you mentioned, David.
White flag for Ferry. Watch him through the whoops here. Been looking pretty good.
Boy, there's a lot of good riders these days that'll have to go to the last chance qualifiers. We take a look at Ferry on the final lap. What a heartthrob this has got to be for him. The adrenaline's really got to be pumping after not making it in Los Angeles.
Plus, he stood on the starting line with the winner of the first round, Tortelli, Pichon. You know, you got a lot of talent. He doesn't know what's going on behind him, and he's out there leading this race. And anytime you can win, even if it's the last chance qualifier, it feels good.
Oh, it really does. He won the 125 East last year with no wins. He had 5 third places. But the new eligibility rules really got to him because he can't go back to defend his 125 title. So he went to the 250s, got hooked up with John Clark, Nolene Yamaha, and this has got to be the greatest feeling in the world for him right now. What a confidence builder. After not making the field in Los Angeles, Tim Ferry draws the checkers here from the semifinal round. And we'll be back with a talk with Tim right after this. Around it's Ferry, Craig, Tortelli, Demet, and Brown, with Pichon going to the last chance qualifier. Let's go down to Davey, who's with Tim Ferry.
All right, Tim, that has to do a lot for your confidence after what happened in Los Angeles last weekend.
Yeah, it does. You know, I had an off weekend, and I don't know what it was. I was a little bit nervous riding 250 for the first time, but I worked real hard. I rode every day this week, and I'm feeling a lot better this week.
For you, is a track like this really hard pack and slick, tougher than a wet track like we had in L.A.?
Well, I've been back in Florida a lot, so I'm used to a little bit more tackier. But I mean, I'm getting better and better as the weekend goes on, and the Nolene Yamaha is just working real good, and I'm just real happy with the Bridgestone tires and everything.
Hey, you know, one of the guys you beat in that race was Sebastian Tortelli, and we know what he did last time.
Yeah, you know, he did really good last weekend. You know, it was a mud race, and I'm just going on this weekend and get some points and hopefully maybe be up on the podium or, you know, just put a good ride.
All right, we wish you luck, Tim.
Thanks.
Taking another look as we see Mike Brown 100 by Pichon. Watch 16, the yellow bike, the Suzuki right in front of him.
Well, he doesn't even really straddle the top of that jump. He hit it with the front wheel, too, which caused him to endo so quick. Then he just cases it with his body right into the top of that next jump. He just got over the top. Otherwise, that would have really driven him to the ground hard. Brown just stepped off, and then he just kind of rolls to stop. And then number 13, Craig, has nowhere to go. Doesn't go off. Well, he looks like he did a little.
He did go off, didn't he, a little bit. Next, we head to Phoenix, Arizona on ESPN for round number 3. Tune in at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 o'clock out west, Friday the 30th. Check your local cable listings, I should say, for the last-minute changes. Okay, the sports future superstars, the 125s, will be coming up next here from the Houston Astrodome. Stay tuned. AMA Supercross is being brought to you by Motorcycle Mechanics Institute. Quality training for the motorcycle industry.
Hi, Bob Vila here with an exciting new hand tool from Sears. If you're impressed with our Craftsman RoboGrip pliers, wait till you see this. Hey, Jim, how you doing with that table?
Oh, these hex nuts are driving me crazy. My adjustable wrench keeps rounding off the corners, and I don't have box end wrenches for all the different sizes.
Here, try the Craftsman Pocket Socket adjustable box end wrench. With a one-hand adjustment, you can lock onto nuts and bolts of almost any size, metric or standard, from 5/16 to 3/4 of an inch, or 8 to 18 millimeters. The closed box end clamps tight, and heat-treated steel construction makes it durable. And because it's a Craftsman hand tool, made in America, it's guaranteed forever.
For rush delivery of your Craftsman Pocket Socket, get your Sears charge or the credit card ready and call 1-800-452-0909. That's 1-800-452-0909. Or send your check or money order for $19.99 plus shipping and handling to the address on your screen. Call 1-800-452-0909 right now.
Take the shot. If you've got the look, take the shot.
Attention college basketball fanatics. Here's Tuesday night's Big East matchup. Super sophomore Richard Hamilton has been lighting up the scoreboard this season. He'll lead the Huskies against scrappy Jamel Thomas and the Friars. UConn Providence Tuesday night at 7:30, only on ESPN2.
Welcome to the Naismith House.
One thing when you see Lyle Lovett at a Supercross, it's not just for show. This guy not only loves the sport, he's also a very fine rider. Just back from a 10-day excursion through Chile.
All right, it's nice and Smith, and we had a great time.
What was it like?
You know, it was just beautiful. We were on dirt roads the entire time, but they weren't back roads. They were like the main highways. And, it was terrific riding.
Oh, it sounds like a fabulous trip. And, of course, there's a couple of guys out there that are having a fabulous trip here after 2 heats of action.
It's so exciting tonight to see Jeremy go out front in the first heat and to watch Lusk in the second one.
The amazing thing, Lyle, as you remember from Los Angeles, the Frenchman Tortelli won. Almost anyone could win this year.
Yeah, the riders seem to be very evenly matched, don't they?
They do. What's on your schedule, Lyle?
Getting ready to go back in the studio in Los Angeles in a couple of weeks, and was home this weekend, so I couldn't resist coming to the Supercross.
Well, anxiously awaiting what comes out of the studio, as well as the information about your rides. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
While we were away, the final 2 positions have been selected at the gate now for Jean-Sebastien Roy and Mikel Pichon. They were the top 2 out of the short last chance qualifier, and so they'll get the final 2 gate positions for the 250. But right now, Roncada taking a peek as the others take their practice lap just before the 125 main. Taking a look at the Suzuki point standings after one round, Dowd heads the list, 3 points up on Roncada. Then it's Brandis, Huffman, and McCormick, the top 5.
Talking to Roncada's mechanic after practice, he said, yeah, we weren't too bummed out giving away only 3 points in a race where he got a terrible start and pretty much proved that he was as fast, in some cases faster than Dowd. He wants to prove it here tonight.
The 125 field has a bushel basket of aspiring youngsters, but this year's cast also features 2 guys over 30 years old. While factory teams are continually gunning for #1 plates in the 125 ranks, the AMA has always tried to preserve the division as an entry-level stepping stone to the 250.
I need to show people what I'm capable of, and instead of just getting support rides, I need to go out there and get some podiums and put in some good finishes. That way I can get up there in the big rigs.
Such is the case as well with Stefan Roncada, Jason McCormick, David Villeman, and the near-unanimous throng of young riders trying to catch the attention of the big teams. To get a call from the legendary Roger DeCoster offering a 125 Primal Suzuki support ride was an incredible thrill for Ryan Huffman.
At first, it was like I didn't believe my mom when she told me that he had called, so I was pretty surprised.
Incongruent with this youthful mix is 32-year-old father of 1, John Dowd.
I think about the young kids. I mean, this is where all the superstars come from, really, from this class, you know, moving up over the years. So you never know when one of these guys is gonna get going. And you know, being young, they're definitely all aggressive, and you know, just they're not really afraid to go trying stuff out there.
It's pretty good, I think, to be 33 years old and still riding that fast. I mean, that's amazing.
Amazing as it may seem to the 18-year-old Roncada, this season the 125 West also has rejoining the ranks a former 2-time 125 champion and 250 title contender, Jeff Matasevich. Here's a guy who took bar banging to the extreme with Damon Bradshaw in the old days. Not holding an AMA racing license for the last 3 years while racing in Japan opens up this opportunity, but catching up with the youth of today isn't easy.
It's changed a lot. I mean, the young kids are really aggressive, and plus being over Japan, I haven't been as aggressive because I haven't had to for the last 3 years. So coming back, and then it's been 10 years since I've been on a 125, so it was a really big change for me.
Despite the differences in ages, the 125 West spells the same word for everyone: opportunity. Art Ekman and David Bailey up in the press box, and down on the floor of the stadium where all that action is Davey Coombs. Davey.
Hey guys, we were talking about that line that Kevin Windham and Doug Henry were using. Well, I just saw Stefan Roncada use the parade lap in the 125 race to take a shot at it, and gentlemen, he made it. So watch Roncada on that jump that Henry was specializing.
Davey, that's probably why he went out last.
It's a good point, because you know what? John Dowd has obviously had a chance to talk with his Yamaha teammates about it. Roncada had one shot, one chance. We'll see if he pulls it off in the main event, guys.
It's a lot easier to go out and try that in practice. I mean, you could even go out there and fold it up a little bit and crash in the parade lap and probably get a couple extra minutes to get yourself together before the start. But if you go out and do that in the main event, it's all over with.
Stefan getting a little practice start on the AstroTurf.
It's a good strategy. Also, it was something I used to like to do whenever there's a parade lap, is be the last guy. Everyone's lined up and waiting, and that tension builds and builds. When you line up there last, you don't have to sit there as long before they drop the gate.
Who's going to get the 1/900 Pro Race hole shot check? They draw the line, and whoever goes over that line right before the whoops coming out of turn 1 will get the extra cash. Nathan Ramsey, Stefan Roncada, John Dowd, David Pingree, Jason McCormick, David Villeman from France, Yuri Dostal from the Czech Republic riding for the Primal Suzuki team, Matasevich, Eric Vallejo out of Mexico riding for Kawasaki of Mexico, Greg Schnell. Oh, the list goes on and on. The 32nd board is up.
Thought Ramsey looked excellent in his heat race. Roncada looks good. There he is, number 18. Jason McCormick riding good.
38 is Deegan, got in by the last chance qualifier.
Heat race wasn't too impressed with Dowd, but the longer the race, the more he gets into it. He gets good starts on that 125. There you can see the guy with the sign that's sideways.
Okay, gets set to go.
Dowd having to kick a piece of dirt out from under his foot right before the gate drops.
We're off. The 125 main event is underway. Pingree, number 29. Does he have to go wide? Can he make it? 9:34 is David Villamine. He'll take the check back in francs.
Didn't look too good in his heat race. Didn't get a good start. Put it all together here in the main when it counts.
So it's Villamine, Pingree, and then number 25. He's got that yellow shirt on, Michael Brandis, who took a third place in the opener in Los Angeles.
Back behind the leaders, Brandis making a bobble. Little mistake, got passed on both sides by Ramsey and Roncada.
David Villamine, an interesting story. Last year, only came over for a few races like this season before going back to the GPs. But he was so successful with a win in Seattle, he was second in points, got second places in Los Angeles and Minnesota, that they brought him back from Europe to continue the season hopeful of winning the 125 division crown.
And it was Ramsey and Roncada together right there that were leading that race in Seattle that he won. Ramsey couldn't make it all the way over the triple. Roncada plowed into him, and Villamine went on for the win.
But it was the 10th place right here in Houston that sent Villamine back to Europe to start the GP season. Okay, this is going to be an exciting finish in the 125 main event. We'll be back. Oh, he goes down.
Ramsey,
Nathan Ramsey goes down. The young lad out of Hickson, Tennessee. More bad luck here in Houston. Let's check it out.
Oh, it's a tricky section. They go up on that plateau, jump back off. Right here, jump in the double into the corner. Tap that rear brake, brought the front end down too low over the bars.
Okay, as David Villamine goes into the whoops. And Pingree, number 29, is in back of him. We've got a 4-bike freight train. Will it stay the same? Villamine, Pingree, Huffman, Roncada with Brandis in 5th place. We'll be back in a moment.
Now is the time to train for the career you've always wanted. Just ask Motorcycle Mechanics Institute graduate Al Ludington, now lead mechanic for Honda's championship-winning Smokin' Joe's Superbike team.
MMI gave me the knowledge and training to take me to the top of my profession. It's a great place to start, and I recommend it to anybody looking to kick off a career in motorcycle mechanics or the personal watercraft industry.
Change your life with one phone call, 1-800-994-3664. That's 1-800-994-3664. Call today.
You never really leave this place. You just go home for a while. FLA, USA.
Orlando. Every time you visit, everywhere you go, Orlando, something else. Come and say hello. Always something different. Always something fun. The smile's gonna show it. You never outgrow it. Orlando.
Okay, Brett, we're going to demonstrate how the ESPYs bring together the world of entertainment and the world of sports, okay?
Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
Is there a script?
No, there's no script. We don't need a script. That's the whole point, is to find out what happens when the world of sports and the world of entertainment kind of collide.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
The ESPYs, presented by General Motors in Pennzoil, February 9th, 8 p.m.
Yeah, okay. Hey, get us a script there, would you, idiot?
Welcome back to the Asks now, moving into 6th place as you saw the top 5 on our Suzuki field summary.
Just came through the mechanics area and just about ran over everyone's toes, too. He's trying everything to move his way up. If we take a look at Pingree.
Pingree, the battle for second is on.
Dowd is starting to go to work on Brandis.
Pingree took a 6th place in Los Angeles. He's 10 points off the points lead. There's Villamine. Number 934, 29, Pingree. 28, right on his heels is Ryan Huffman, who had to get into the main event through the LCQ, the last chance qualifier. He had bad luck in the qualifying round.
Here we have more of that French invasion. Running 1st and 4th right now. Roncada going to take that line. Just to the left of the screen. Whoa! They got their jump timing all mixed up. Roncada was in the air.
He went flying. Oh, my goodness. He was tangling with Ryan Huffman.
He was trying that line that Davey was talking about. This is at the tail end. He was in the air.
Over. What a collision.
Huffman had no idea that was coming. Roncada was committed. Bad break for Huffman.
That's almost like Roncada and Ramsey. Roncada was already committed and came down and crashed with Ramsey last year.
Reminds me a little bit of that famous helmet cam footage we had of McGrath coming down on top of Craig. Same type of deal into a right-hand corner.
So you saw David Villamy looking back to see where the second-place rider might be. He had to look a long way back. He's got about an 8-second lead on David Pingree. Let's go down to Davey Combs.
Okay, guys, listen, I know that Sean Persinger might be a little too upset to talk to us right now, but after Rick Hahn had made that mistake, he grabbed his headset, he threw it down. This year has not started out the way Team Honda and Troy wished.
Now, Roncada's been the fastest guy on the track all night on the 125. Really thought he was a heavy favorite to win this thing, was in position to. Got a little bit antsy. It's a long race, and sometimes you got to figure out the best time to pick your spots. And right there, he was just going for it, and there was nowhere to go.
Villamy looking so smooth in the whoops. Pingree doing a good job so far as he goes down the middle line, changing the line midway.
Pingree's riding a great race. He's just a little bit off the pace of Villamy, but no one's gaining on him either. So it's a lonely ride for him right now, but it's a podium if he stays there.
10 laps remaining in our 125 main. A 7-second lead. There's John Dowd in fourth, taking on Ryan Huffman.
As I was saying as we were in the parade lap, Dowd, the longer the race, the better. Now he's going to go out wide and try that line. Let's see if he does it. His timing's a little different. There he goes.
John Dowd, oh, he snaps his neck.
Well, that wasn't pretty, but at least he didn't go down. I thought for sure he was going off the track. Got on the brakes and saved it, but I don't think he's going to try that again, Art.
Oh, I think he's going to be looking for a neck brace. One of those that snap your neck back there and hold it back in place.
That was whiplash.
And whiplash, that was the word I was using for it. Let's go down to Davey.
Okay, you guys are right. That was a close call. Brian, we saw this in the 250 class. Is that a line that the Yamaha guys told John to try?
Well, that's one of the things he had done it in practice really well, and then in his heat race, I don't know, he kind of brain faded, didn't try it at all. And then he saw Doug do it, and he was like, kind of woke him up. But boy, he just scared us all right there, I'll tell you.
That was really ugly. And that shows you how hard it is to get over that. On the 125, it's really tough. He came up a little short, but he was committed. He had to keep gassing it to get over those things, or else it would have been a lot worse.
John Dowd in good position, though, in the battle for third. Yeah, second year in a row, he led off the season opening with a win by the victory in Los Angeles. The first time was the 125 East in Indianapolis last year. He did not run here last year because his wife was expecting their first child. This year in a different division, and his domestic situation is not the same as it was, or is it?
Well, as far as I know, I'm not. So hopefully I'll be at all the races. Unless there's something Trish hasn't been telling me.
Oh, just as John Dowd was talking to us in a recording before the race, he drops down a position. What a move by Michael Brandis as they go through the lap. Whoops. Huffman holding it up. But there's John Dowd, number 9. Here comes Brandis, number 25. Bar to bar behind Huffman. Can they get around him? Huffman takes the line he wants. John Dowd using Huffman as a screen to Brandis. And John Dowd now. Can he get through the timing section?
Oh, what we got is a 5-rider duel for that final spot on the podium for third. And what's happened is these guys are all battling so close that Roncada, who went down, has caught him. He's at the tail end of it. So he's still got a shot at third, but now that Dowd is broken free, that may be a little tougher.
7 laps to go, David.
Still a long time. Roncada's on pace, but I have to think that it looks to me like he bent his handlebars. The left side is bent way back to him. He's still jumping the triples and riding aggressive, but that bike has got to be tough to handle, especially through the whoops. Brandis caught Dowd out of nowhere, surprised him. Dowd was trying to set it up to make a pass and got past. Now Brandis is around. See if he can catch back up to Dowd again.
Well, those are some abrupt whoops for 125.
It's tough. You see that as those guys hop onto that plateau, they've got to sit down, compress that suspension a little bit more to get the lift.
Roncada with a great leap.
Roncada.
Pingree, Dowd, the top 3 positions, but Roncada is trying to make a move to get back on that podium.
Yeah, I think Roncada's handlebars are tweaked. I can't tell if it's the handlebars that are bent or the front forks are tweaked, but he's getting used to it, and he's starting to pick up the pace. You can see Dowd getting away, and he wants that spot.
John Dowd into the whoops. As we take a look at, there's Dowd, number 9. When he gets by the triple, you'll find out there's another tough box. Used to be known as hay bales out in the middle of the turn.
You see Brandis right there sitting down that seat. Get that compression and the rebound to hop up on top of that plateau. And Roncada is taking the line that Dowd was trying. He's making it work. He's gaining a lot of time there.
With 6 laps to go, Villeman now crosses the finish line. It is 5 complete laps to go. We'll be back with the race to the checkers in a moment.
Over that finish line jump, I like the way he stands up through the corner. Honda stopwatch as he enters the whoops. Lapping McCormick there, number 32.
Let's check out the interval. Got to be around 9-10 seconds, I assume. There's Pingree.
Yeah, it's even a little bit more than that. And we'll see the interval from Pingree back to 3rd.
Let's check out your favorite rider's interval now from the leader as the Honda stopwatch continues to run down, and get a chance to maybe check out a lap speed on Villeman, who's riding as smooth as we've seen any rider ride all day. Villeman with a 7th place finish in the opener, 11 points behind the leader in points coming into this race. He went 5 laps in 13th before dropping to 14th, and then recaptured his timing in Los Angeles and came back for a 7th place finish, which under the circumstances was an excellent ride, David Bailey.
It was, and you watch him ride this 125 and you think, Davey Coombs had brought it up earlier, he looks too tall for that thing, but making it work. And there you get a lap time, 102. Pretty quick. A little earlier in the heat races, they were running 103, so he stepped it up. That's why he's pulling away. Good battle now between Brandis.
Brandis looking ahead.
Schnell goes for the double.
Schnell with the 12th place in Los Angeles last week, trying to hold him off.
That's amazing. Schnell only did the double. Brandis triple it and still couldn't make the pass.
Roncada, number 85.
Yep, Roncada right there to take advantage of anything these guys might do.
Only 3 laps to go as we check out the field summary. It is Villeman, Pingree, Dowd, and Schnell.
Sometimes when you get in a race like this, you get a little ways back in the pack, it starts to wind down. You look over and you see the leader coming the other way on some completely other section of the racetrack. You go, geez, he's clear over there? Well, that must be going slow.
Roncada gets in front of Brandis there, number 25.
You start to get tired, even though it's a 15-lap main. It's really starting to get tired towards the end. You get hot. Get sweat built up in your goggles. Any mistake, landing hard off the triple, all that splatters on the inside of your lens, and it's harder to see and maintain that concentration and try to hold somebody off. It's tough to do. Roncada finally finding his way around Brandis. Pretty good ride for him despite going down as hard as he did.
A lot less than 2 laps remaining.
After watching him in practice in the heat race, I would have bet $100 he was going to win this thing. I'm glad I didn't. Just shows the main event's a completely different story. The start, you get a little bit in too big a hurry, try to make something happen and pay the price.
The white flag is out. The white flag is waving for David Villeman. Villeman going through the whoops.
Smooth style, lets the bike work under him. He's got to take his time with the lapped rider in the way, and you can see that everyone's really starting to favor the middle. That's what I liked about Lusk earlier in the 250s in his heat race.
Pingree having his problems. David Villeman, number 934. Pingree, injuries just derailed his career. When he was looking so promising earlier, his change to FMF, Honda, a good one for him this year. Hopefully will change his luck.
Heel clicker for Villeman. He's got a couple more chances, one more triple and the finish line jump. He's already done one. He's got a huge lead. This is going to feel good.
So after so much tight racing in the qualifying rounds, David Villeman heel clicks. The luxury of a great lead and wonderful ability. The checkers are flying. David Villeman, after winning in Seattle last year, has won the second round 125 action here in the Astrodome. David Pingree, an impressive second place for Pingree. And we'll take a look at the official
guy. This is David Villeman. David, congratulations, your second win in America. And I tell you, that was a huge improvement from Los Angeles.
Yeah, I was sick in Los Angeles, so I finished only 7th. And I think I did a good race. I took the oil shot, and it was easier for me for the race. And I did not make too much mistake, and I did my race. I tried to ride smooth, and I'm so happy to win here.
Now, are you staying in America full-time or just the 125 series?
No, only the 125 series Supercross West Coast, because I have to do the GP in Europe, and I have a factory contract over there. So I hope to a top 3 in GP.
All right. Well, there you have it. He's not a factory rider in America. He is in Europe, but tonight he rode like one. And guys, this whole French thing is getting pretty crazy.
Yeah, you're going to have to get your French book out, I think. More of them will be coming over with the success that the French riders are having right now. But as I just quickly calculated as fast as I could, let's take a look at the Suzuki point standings now for the 125s. It is John Dowd with his third place finish leading with 45 points. And with this win, Villeman, who had 14 points coming into tonight, has vaulted into second place in the points with 39 points, 1 point ahead of his fellow Frenchman. Stefan Roncada won wonders in second place again this year. If Villeman has a good third round, whether he'll be delayed from going to the GP round. Well, as we let the 125 celebration wind down, let's turn to the immediate future now. Will it be Tortelli again, McGrath, Emig, Lusk, or another surprise winner? The 250s, the main event, is coming up next.
You got us a piece of the Frontier for $8.
I sold 99 cents for $12. Yes, I did.
At Ameritrade, we never forget it's your money. That's why we built our business on bringing you fast, accurate trades and seriously low commission.
I saved on the rainforest, $18.
Trade over the internet for $8, by touch-tone phone for $12, or with a broker for just $18, no matter how many shares you buy or sell.
I landed on Saturn for $18.
After 23 years, we're not exactly new at this. Hey, we were the first to trade on the internet. Check out Ameritrade.com or phone 1-800-592-3202. Open an account by April 15th and get a free IRA for life.
I dropped Philip for Parker, Parker for Johnson, Johnson for Coleman.
It doesn't get much easier than this. Check out Ameritrade.com or phone 1-800-592-3202 today.
Finally, I found paradise.
Ameritrade, the way to trade, period.
Saturday, high-scoring, high-flying front courts take center stage in the Pac-10 Big 12 Challenge. First at 4, Arizona's Adia Barnes brings her hot hand against Kansas and soft-scoring sensation Lynn Pride. Then at 6, 2 outstanding centers collide as Stanford's Olympia Scott goes up against Texas Tech's Alicia Thompson. The Pac-10 Big 12 Challenge. Arizona, Kansas at 4, Stanford, Texas Tech at 6. Saturday on ESPN2.
Taking the lead. Bradshaw.
This proved to be a great place to pass. The corner going in, and if you blow it, the guy, if you pass, squares it and jumps back over the top of you. Here comes Henry again.
Henry just won't give up. He is fully healed, that's for sure. Fly by a lapper. Bradshaw, mistake. Lusk, bar to bar now with it. And here comes Emig. Emig now makes the pass on Bradshaw. So it's Henry, number 20. Number 11, Lusk, looks over the shoulder the wrong way as Jeff Emig, number 3, in third position.
This will be interesting to see what happens in the corner. Lusk will try to stop him. Didn't work.
Nice cut by Emig in second place.
What an amazing ride from Emig. I've seen him ride from the hole shot and win. I've seen him finish on the podium. Look at that. Doesn't waste any time.
Incredible. Jeff Emig, what a performance. Oh, and Henry is down. As we told you, anything can happen.
I think Henry's done for the night. This is devastating Yamaha's title hopes.
Oh, is it ever. Doug Henry, who had such a valiant performance in the early going. As you see there, very disappointed walking off. The checker flag for Jeff Emig. Welcome back to the Astrodome in Houston, Texas, as we join 50,832 fans, a new record here at the Astrodome for attendance at the Supercross. And they have already seen some terrific action. Mikel Pichon having to go to the LCQ to make the main event. That might pull him back a little bit. And then we saw great speed from McGrath as well as Ezra Lusk.
Yes, we did. Those guys are on tonight. McGrath looks perfect. Lusk is even a little bit faster. He wasn't, I mean, I think the last 4 laps or so of their heat races, that could have been different. I think they're pretty dead even, but a surprise is Doug Henry came out of the semi, and his lap times are as fast as Lusk's average time, about 59 seconds. So he is on pace with those two guys who I thought dominated their heat races, and he had to pass Jeff Emig to do it.
Well, Davey Combs, Jeff Emig is not a happy camper right now. He even went down twice in practice today.
Yeah, I tell you what, Jeff is having a bad day. He came into the stadium here and he saw that long line of whoops and he's like, oh man, this is just not what I wanted to see. He spent the whole winter time trying to work on that, but I think he came in and it maybe psyched himself out a little bit.
Well, the heat races don't always mean everything when it gets to the main event, but he can pick it back up, but it's going to take a good start and get his head screwed on a little bit different than it's been so far today.
Our Suzuki point standings, as you see, Tortelli with the slight 3-point lead. Emig in good position, but look at McGrath. He's within striking distance. Mikel Pichon comes into this second round, 4th in points. Kevin Windham, who also had some very innovative moves earlier in qualifying.
He did, but I didn't really see him use the one that I thought was the most impressive in that heat race. I think he didn't really want to show Lusk. Or he couldn't set up for it because Lusk was so close to him he couldn't go wide and use it. We heard Henry say, well, some of those lines are slower in one place, better in the other, and if you try them when you're in the lead, you can get past. So if he gets a start, has a little breathing room, a little cushion, he may be able to do that, and if he can, he's going to pull away.
32nd board is up. Who will win the 1-900 Pro Race $1,500 hole shot award as round 2? The 250s are ready to go.
Goggles are on. There was a shot at DeCoster just over the shoulder of the starter. He's down in the first corner. Hoping to see a lot of yellow in there.
The tension builds. This record crowd in Houston starting to stand on their feet as the board goes sideways. Any moment now. We're off in the Astrodome. Oh, what a pack. Jeff Emig goes to the outside. There's Ezra Lusk, number 3, takes the lead. He'll get the whole shot money. Ryan Hughes, number 10. Jeremy McGrath in 3rd. Emig and McGrath almost collided.
Emig got the better end of that deal. Hughes is up in there. After a horrible first round, I talked to him after practice and said, I feel good. I didn't really do much all week. I'm healthy again. I can at least tie my shoes.
LaRocco, a good start in 6th as we take a look at our leader, Ezra Lusk.
Hughes is in so much pain in L.A. Now he's got to look at the lead. See if he can stay there. Lusk has been fast. Pointed out earlier tonight, a lot of people feel like if Lusk gets a good start, keeps it on 2 wheels, he's a sure win. But McGrath is right there. Emig is right there. Windham is right behind McGrath. All the good guys that have a shot are up front in position.
You know, David Bailey, it was really interesting when I talked with Ezra Lusk earlier. When I asked him about Los Angeles and his mental strategy for Houston, he says, Houston is the first race of my season this year. And that's how he's running.
Well, I'm not going to look at that as my first race because everything wasn't right. You know, it's kind of nothing really happened like it was supposed to, and there were some things that held me back that shouldn't have even happened. So we're just looking at this. This is my first race. I just got back from Japan. I just won 4 motos, and we're ready to go. Everything's set up right, and we're ready to race.
Ezra Lusk in first. Hughes in second. What a battle for third!
McGrath gets it back.
Jeremy McGrath moves into third.
Well, that's got to feel good to pass Emick like that.
Emick's not going to let him off the hook, though. Emick knows he's got to ride aggressive.
He'll keep the pressure on. This kind of reminds me of what we've seen here in years past. Jeremy, a Kawasaki sandwich between Ryan Hughes and Emick. And that worked in Jeremy's favor the last time they got together like that. Hughes made a mistake, caused Emick to go down, and Jeremy went on for the win.
Boy, is this a fine ride in second place for Ryan Hughes.
Oh, I know he can ride good. He knows it. It's just frustrating that he's never healthy. Got through the whoops. Beautiful right there. Leaped about 5 jumps. 5 of those whoops. Turned it into a couple of big double jumps, it looked like.
Jeremy back. McGrath has got the target right on Ryan Hughes' back, though.
He closed right in, and McGrath knows if he can't get around Hughes right now and starts to lose contact with Lusk, that means get on the gas or it's over.
Lusk has pulled a 3-second lead on number 10, Ryan Hughes. And then we've got McGrath. Emick is losing some time. Wyndham is in back of Emick. Then it's LaRocco.
It's a wicked pace right now. Lusk is setting it. There's McGrath's mechanic, Randy Lawrence. Trying to figure out what he needs to put on the board.
For the Henry fans, he's now in 7th place. And Lusk go mistake-free. Look at him bouncing through those whoops.
Ryan's got those whoops dialed in the beginning, and then Jeremy got them dialed at the end. Different lines through the corner. Jeremy's got to try something. He can't follow. Can't pass if you're following. If Ryan were to make a mistake, Jeremy would be caught up in it. They're not losing any time to Lusk. That last lap, they stayed dead even.
You know, the track has held up beautifully, hasn't it?
Love the soil here. Sat and watched practice with Johnny O'Mara, and I said, you like this place, didn't you? And he goes, yeah, I loved it. Soil's perfect.
Our Suzuki Field summary: Ezra Lusk, Ryan Hughes, Jeremy McGrath, Jeff Emick, and Kevin Wyndham. Our top 5. Then after Wyndham, it's LaRocco, Henry, Button, and Tortelli. Before we get to Greg Albertine and Damon Huffman.
Right now, these guys are just going as fast as they can go. Hughes and McGrath. They're doing everything right, not making any mistakes. They're flying through the whoops, and they still can't gain on Lusk.
16 laps to go, and Lusk has picked up another second on Ryan Hughes.
Just inching away. McGrath has been right there. You got to think that if he was in front of Ryan, he might be able to do a couple things different and stay with Lusk or have a shot at him. But right now, unless he can get around Hughes, there's no way he's going to catch Lusk. He's got to hope for Lusk to make a mistake. Brown
having some problems. The Honda Troy bike not performing as he tries to restart it over there. His mechanic giving him some extra help right now.
Kicking on the pipe. I think he might have got tangled with somebody, and that came out of the exhaust port, came out of the cylinder, so it's making all that noise.
Dean Baker, his mechanic on that Honda of Troy crew. Well, tough luck for Mike Brown after a 13th in Los Angeles.
Watch Hughes leap into the whoop section. 1 hop, 2 hops. Beautiful. Little fishtail through there. That's where Jeremy gains right at the end, because Ryan actually backs off through those whoops to take the inside, protecting that line. If he didn't, Ryan might, or McGrath rather, would go in there and take it away from him.
McGrath looking to retake a points lead, one that he hasn't seen for quite a while.
Well, once again, he finds himself in the podium position in the beginning of the race. Starting to lose contact, though, with Lusk. Not in his sights as often. About a half a second to a second a lap is what they're losing on him right now.
Jeremy McGrath's new mechanic this year is Randy Lawrence. Davey Coombs is with him now.
Yeah, that was a familiar message you wrote out there, Randy. It says, don't follow.
Yeah, I mean, Rhino's going just fast enough to keep Jeremy behind him right now. And if Jeremy follows him too much, he'll get in that pace. What we're trying to do is get by Rhino, so we can look ahead and see Ezra and maybe catch back up to him and make a good race out of this.
That's the same kind of signal we used to see Skip Norfolk put out for McGrath, gentlemen.
Randy's a smart kid. I call him a kid because he just seems like a kid to me. He can wear that hair. He can wear those glasses. Quite a character. Very creative. A good rider. A good BMX rider. A good downhiller on mountain bikes. Probably a little bit faster on a mini bike than Jeremy McGrath is.
Ryan Hughes is really holding his own here now as Jeremy tries to show him a wheel or two.
Yeah, Randy's a good combo. I've said that before. Jeremy's been lucky to have Skip, and now lucky once again to have somebody like Randy. I'm sure they have a lot of fun together, and Randy knows what to put on that board. He's been out there.
What does Ron Woods have to say, Davey?
Hey, Ron, your guy's having the best night of the year so far for himself.
Yeah, he's riding really good. I'm pretty happy for him. He seems to be pretty comfortable. You know, the back might get a little bit worse as the night goes on, but I think he'll do okay.
Ryan saved the best for last year and taking a second place in the final race of the season, Las Vegas, but he had more bad luck than any one rider I've ever seen. McGrath going wide, still appears to be following Ryan Hughes.
Well, in terms of being behind him still, absolutely, but he is trying everything. Hughes that time, we were watching from the side. He got a little fishtail through the whoops, lost a lot of time, and Jeremy wasn't able to take advantage. But look at this.
Here comes Jeremy McGrath. McGrath moves into second place with a clean move to the inside.
He did that the last lap, but he wasn't close enough entering the section. This time he knew he had to position himself close enough. He's patient and made it stick.
Jeff Emig is 5 seconds in back of Ryan Hughes. Whoa, we almost got caught in the S-turn right there.
Now, the interesting fact will be, can McGrath, there's plenty of time remaining, close the gap, put some pressure on Lusk. With no pressure, Lusk can blitz these whoops just like he is here, faster than anybody all day through those whoops.
Can Ezra Lusk hold on for a victory here, his first of the year? We'll find out when we come back.
On your left are the Suzuki motorcycles you want. On your right are the accessories you want. Left, bikes. Right, accessories. Bikes, accessories. Straight in front of you is the great deal you've been looking for. Now during Suzuki Fest 98, get $500 worth of accessories free. And choose from great deals like 0 down or low APR financing on selected models. So march right in. Left, right.
It's that time of year again, tax season. Are you prepared? Will you file your return with confidence or with crossed fingers? The Wall Street Journal Guide to Understanding Your Taxes can give you more confidence. And it's yours free with 10 weeks of the journal for just $3.90 a week. The Guide and the Journal. Necessary items during a stormy season.
Ezra's pulling away as we take a look at Laraco and Wyndham battling for fifth.
About where they started, haven't been able to really move up, just battling with each other. The pace out front is just amazing. These guys are going so fast, no one's making any major mistakes, so pretty much just stayed the same. But getting down to the end, like I said, that's where things start to happen.
I just, for the hand watch, have an 8-second lead for Ezra Lusk now on Jeremy McGrath with 10 laps remaining.
He has picked it up a little bit. Lusk is just amazing through the whoops. He's making most of his time through the whoop section, and in the corner after it, leading up to the triple, he gets out of there like he's shot out of a cannon. The bike's hooking up tonight.
Ezra, it's obvious, isn't feeling the pressure.
Now, if he looks back,
that pressure everybody knows is the fact that Honda was shut out last year from a victory in Supercross for the first time in 15 years.
Now, if he keeps it on 2 wheels, and the fact of the lead he's got, he could afford to fall down and still pick it up and probably maintain the lead.
Talking with Lusk earlier, he said, you know, I almost didn't want to go to Japan. I didn't want to show my deck, he says, because I knew I was ready. I knew I was ready to do something good.
Yeah.
And he swept Osaka and Tokyo both and opened everybody's eyelids.
There's a couple ways to look at that, and you really don't want to tip your hand as we take a look at the Honda stopwatch. Lusk not even using the rut, going faster through where the whoops are still fresh and bigger. McGrath starting to follow the same line. Watch Hughes through the... See, watch Hughes will get that fishtail in through there sometimes. It slows him down. You go out there where there's no rut. All you got to worry about is the bike bouncing up and down, not side to side.
As we look at all the riders' intervals, Emig has picked up some time. He's trying to make a move and move up a notch.
Lusk, going back to Ezra's success in Japan, There's a couple ways to look at that. You don't want to go over there and show your speed, but on the other hand, you go over there and show your speed and get everyone thinking before they come into that first race. Didn't go the way he wanted. I think this is more what he had in mind. Had he been able to line up where he was supposed to in LA, might have seen more of this.
Wyndham and Button going at it now.
Button putting in a great ride.
Jimmy Button right in front of Kevin Wyndham as we look back at the lap time of Ezra Lusk. Incredible. Less than a minute.
Just under a minute, and I bet you those are the same every lap. I haven't seen him make one mistake. He's not even using that one fast line over on the side that we saw work for Doug Henry and also for McGrath to move into second. He's still pulling away.
Ezra Lusk, who took a second place here in Houston last year, started an outstanding string here in Houston of 5 races last year, where he got 2 wins, 2 second places, and a third. In fact, David Bailey had followed him from 7th to 3rd in the point standings, and that's where he ended up. Let's go down to Davey and get more information from Mike Gosselaar.
Okay, Mike, I know that Ezra's won a couple Supercrosses, but you're on the verge of winning your first one as his mechanic or anyone's mechanic.
Yeah, it would be nice if it happens, but I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch, if you know what I mean.
We're watching you. You look more nervous than anyone down here.
You're probably right.
Well, behind Ezra Lusk, it is very close with McGrath, Hughes, and Emig. Mike LaRocco a little further back in 5th.
McGrath in second. It looks to me like there's less than this rider right here, Lusk, who's riding flawless tonight, makes a major mistake. The race is for second, and it is a race. Ryan Hughes has stayed in contact with McGrath, and Emig has caught the both of them.
7 laps.
LaRocco's right there.
And, you know, it's just that kind of race within a race that might be a decisive factor at the points at season's end.
Absolutely. McGrath can look back at a fall in Pontiac and a clutch in Indy, a flat tire in Charlotte, and just add those points up and know that that cost him a title. You got a race for every point. I won the Supercross championship over Mark Barnett by 3 points. That's not much when you go through a whole season.
I got to hand it to Ryan Hughes. Ryan Hughes of Team Kawasaki is still ahead of his teammate, Jeff Emig. And after going through so much pain in Los Angeles with his back out of whack and very sore heels, he's really hanging on tough here tonight.
And he's a fighter. And as he starts to get, no matter how he feels, he's still going to try. He's going to give it 100%. Emig's pushing him. That could step those two up. They're teammates. They ride together on the Kawasaki test track. There's Emig's mechanic watching. Those guys could pick up the pace a little bit and catch Jeremy.
So right now, Ezra Lusk, Jeremy McGrath, Ryan Hughes, Jeff Emig, Mike LaRocco, and it's Jimmy Button in front of Kevin Wyndham with 6 laps to go.
Emig really close now, putting the pressure on. Lusk continuing to just walk away from these guys. It's amazing. Some of the word I got around the pits, people feeling like Lusk was going to win this thing tonight. Boy, they were right. He's got an 11-second lead.
Davey, how's it going down there?
Well, we've been talking about Jeff Emig all night. I got his mechanic, Dave, on here. Looks like Jeff settled down a lot here in the main event.
Yeah, you know, it's a pretty tough track, and kind of been having a little rough time in the whoops over there all night. So the main thing is go out and be consistent, and that's what he knows he needs to do to win the series. So, you know, little by little, he doesn't always have to be the fastest guy, just most consistent.
Yeah, it's a good strategy. We saw Ron Cotta in the 125 class, to me, by far the fastest, and coming away with an awful result.
Jeff Emig saying that he likes to work into his season a little bit slowly, not be careful, make sure he doesn't make any mistakes in the early going. But he's going to have to get more aggressive right now.
Well, the problem is if you talk yourself into riding nice and careful, that's kind of what we saw Larry. Little front end swirl right there, but Larry Ward did that last year. He was in position to win a couple and finish second. And towards the end, playing it too safe, he started getting in this relaxed pace.
Boy, LaRocco is right there, too. If these two guys could blow it, LaRocco would really be able to take advantage of it.
Talked to Mike after practice. He likes that Honda. Loves it. Said, boy, I'd be anxious to know how I could have done if I'd have gone a little sooner. He's very comfortable and running the pace. These guys are all starting to move up just a little bit on McGrath now, so Rocco's moving.
And we're coming down toward the end, too, as Emig on the back rubber of Ryan Hughes with 4 laps to go.
Going back to the strategy, yes, it's a good strategy for Emig to take it easy and work his way into the season, continue to finish on the podium.
Here
Whoa.
comes Emig. Emig picking up points right there.
Well, that was an aggressive move. He knew he had to get it done. He didn't want to bump his teammate. Looks over at him over the jump like, sorry, pal, but, man, I had to pass. I want to get Jeremy.
Emig moves into a podium position by that one. Now Ryan Hughes is going to be taken advantage of as Rocco to the inside, but Ryan Hughes comes back. Oh, fine move by Hughes.
Rocco's not done.
Where is our leader? Way on the other side of the track. Here comes Rocco, and he secures the battle for point.
Ryan has put in a good ride, and he didn't ride all week. Had a horrible first round. He hasn't been able to train and do his normal routine, and the way the pace is, finally gotten the better of him, but if he can stay where he is, it's still a decent finish. Big improvement over LA. The strategy again by Emig. Every time I go to talk about it, something happens. To take it easy, if Lusk continues to ride like this and wins 2 or 3 in a row, points aren't going to look good.
LaRocco's best finish was a 2nd in Indianapolis last year, and it's been a while since he's been on the winning side of things. Let's go down to Davey.
Hey, Paul, I'm telling you, your guys might be the fastest guy out there right now. Mike LaRocco's on the gas.
I hope so. He's been working real hard lately, and he wants to go. He needs some good finishes.
2 laps to go. You think he can get Emig?
I hope so.
The 27-year-old had won in Atlanta and Pontiac in 1995. He had 4 thirds in 96 before that best finish of 2nd in Indianapolis last year. Still out in front, way out in front is number 3, Ezra Lusk. He's going to create some history here today if he can stay up.
McGrath has carved into that lead just a little bit. It doesn't really matter now. White flag.
White flag. The final lap.
Lusk starting to take it easy. Lapping Pichon, who had to come out of the last chance. Great ride for Ezra. Got the start he needed this week.
And 2. It gives him the confidence to say, whoa, look at me, Honda. I'm worth the money you paid me. Because if Ezra Lusk takes this checkered flag, it'll be the first win for Honda since McGrath at the finale at Las Vegas in 1996.
McGrath not off the hook. Emig is close enough. McGrath makes a mistake. Goslar's got to be happy. Huffman going down right after the finish line jump, losing a lot of positions in the final lap. That's what we saw happen to Henry. Can't get the bike started, the same scenario.
Ezra Lusk through the S's. Ezra Lusk could become the 14th rider to win on 2 different brands. The triple, a salute to the fans. The record number of fans here in Houston are seeing the checkers in the air for Ezra Lusk, who wins his 3rd career victory. Jeremy McGrath staying true in the points race along with Jeff Emig. So we will be back to sort it all out and give you the official finish when we return to the Astrodome. The leader in on and off-road fun, Honda, come ride with us. And by Suzuki Motorcycles and ATVs. Now during Suzuki Fest 98, get $500 worth of accessories for free and choose from great deals like 0 down or low APR financing on selected models. The picture of Ezra Lusk coming across the finish line to end a tremendous drought for Team Honda. As we take a look at the official results now, Ezra Lusk, Jeremy McGrath, Jeff Emig, Mike LaRocco, a very good race here today. And you got to give Ryan Hughes a lot of credit.
But going back to what you're most comfortable with is going to make you feel more comfortable out on the racetrack and be able to be more aggressive.
There you see the 30-second board is up. When that goes sideways, they have from 5 to 10 seconds before the gate will drop. Jeff Emig, along with Kevin Windham, Jimmy Button, Larry Ward, Ryan Hughes, Greg Albertine, Michael Brown, Steve Lamson, John Dowd. Oh, we've got a pressure-packed first heat here, David.
Well, it doesn't have McGrath in it, but it definitely has the most depth. The first 9 guys here on my list, just amazing. A lot of guys are going to have to go to the semi.
Waiting for that board to go sideways. It is now sideways. We're ready to go. The action in Atlanta is underway. Emig having a little difficulty there, but the start is Michael Brown, number 100, gets the whole shot. A Honda Troy rider, Michael Brown, improving each week, David.
Now as he gets up there and gets those starts, he gets to run up front, gets more confidence.
And here comes Ryan Hughes, number 10, moving into second place. Jimmy Button in third, battling it out. Number 9 is John Dowd. Dowd, a 125 rider from the West Coast Division, is riding 250s here in the East. He's now in third.
Beautiful shot of these guys. That's actually what can be a quadruple jump. The triple, the landing, that jump has been extended. So if these guys get a great run at it, they can turn that into a quad. They're jumping about 75 feet through there.
Remember, only the top 4 get to go directly to the main event. Michael Brown in first. Jimmy Button starting to challenge Ryan Hughes for second place.
Whoa, Button coming up short right there. Gamble taking that inside line. That rut's gotten so deep, it's actually gotten down to the cement. You see the back end get away from him there a little bit.
Ryan Hughes moving into second place. Marty Reed.
Remember last week at Indianapolis, Ryan Hughes ran every single race. He had to go all the way to the last chance, and he even finished second there before getting into the main event. This is his best start in the last 4 rounds of racing. He'd love to have to just make it through the heat.
Mike Brown still in first place. Hughes in second with Button in third, and it's Kevin Windham, number 8, on the Team Yamaha in fourth. And on the bubble right now is Larry Ward, number 4, trying to catch up to the lead 4. Dowd has dropped back behind Ward, and Emig is giving him pressure now. So we might have the defending champion and last year's winner. I should say Damon Huffman is last year's winner, but Emig placed second in this race last year. Emig is just trying to qualify right now. Brown holding his own in first place.
Starting to get a lot of pressure now from second, third, and fourth.
Here's our Suzuki leaderboard. Brown, Hughes, Button, Windham, and Larry Ward. Only the top 4 will make it. Ward, though, picking up some time now as Brown, and going down. Going down is Jimmy Button, number 11.
Trying to get in there and get aggressive, make a pass. He just made a pass approaching the triple. Got a little bit too aggressive. He did that last week in Indianapolis. Got real aggressive in a little bit of a personal battle with Jeff Emig. Had to go to the semi.
So Michael Brown, who's had a 13th, a 20th, a 12th, an 8th, and 2 10th place finishes. He has not had great results as far as the checkered flag is concerned, but he is improving after coming back from Europe.
He has been riding good. I talked to him before the San Diego round. He said, if I could just get a start. Then he got a great one last week in Indy, and he was challenging Doug Henry for second. It just made the pass, lost the front end and went down. That kind of ruined the race for him. Otherwise, he'd have had a podium. So
here comes Windham moving into second place, David. Just got in front of Hughes. And so it's Brown. Windham would like to make a move on Mike Brown.
Now Larry Ward, just behind these guys, has actually caught him. Riding a little bit faster pace, and that corner is slick. If you're not in that inside berm or all the way out wide in the bank, that dirt's loose. That's where Button went down.
Okay, we'll see the checkers fly when we return to the Georgia Dome here in Atlanta.
Listen up. Honda dealers are offering 5% financing and no down payment on all new Valkyries.
Check, please. He got into leather for $8.
I tried on some Revlon for 12 bucks.
What? At Ameritrade, we never forget it's your money, so your trades are fast and accurate. By internet for $8, touch-tone phone for $12, or with a broker for $18.
I got out of Toys R Us for $18.
Check out Ameritrade.com or call 1-888-818-5300. Open any account by April 15th and get a free IRA for life. Ameritrade, the way to trade, period.
1997, what a year for the sport of Supercross.
The 97 Supercross Series, bar to bar.
And the season is underway.
From LA to Vegas.
McGrath is
down, and he's under the bike.
All on one video.
Doug Henry wins his second Supercross.
In the best year in history.
You can expect a lot of fire.
Go behind the scenes and on the track.
Albertine through the timing section.
The most wicked crashes. Bone-crushing excitement.
You want to know who got the whole shot? You call 1-900 Pro Race.
The best riders in the world.
Get bar to bar today. Call for your copy at 1-888-659-RACE or send a check or money order for $14.95 plus $3.95 shipping and handling to Bar, care of Pace Motorsports, 477 East Butterfield, Suite 400, Lombard, Illinois, 60148.
AMA Supercross is being brought to you by Honda Motorcycles, celebrating 50 years with great deals during Honda's Dream Days. And by Suzuki Motorcycles and ATVs. Now during Suzuki Fest 98, get $500 worth of accessories for free and choose from great deals like zero down or low APR financing on selected models. We're back in the Georgia Dome in our opening qualifying heat. Mike Brown, Kevin Windham, Ryan Hughes, Larry Ward. Those four could go to the main event, qualify for the main event if they hold their current positions. Ward, though, is now starting to pressure Ryan Hughes. There you see Windham, Hughes, number 10, Team Kawasaki. Larry Ward, Team Suzuki, puts the foot out, takes the short way around before the long straightaway.
Boy, this Georgia clay really works up nice. It almost kind of appears like an outdoor race where the track has more time on it. It starts to groove up, get bigger berms. The soil's so soft here, it works in very quick.
Less than 4 laps to go for Mike Brown. Can he hold on to this lead and win his first heat of the year? And Windham in second place. Hughes now starting to rev it up in third with Larry Ward in fourth. And Jimmy Button has gained some ground on the bubble. Jimmy Button, can he reach Larry Ward with only 4 laps to go?
Mike Brown turning just under a minute, 59.4 that last lap. And through here, he's jumping all the way up into the corner. And out of the corner, he jumps all the way up over this little rise right here that Hughes and Windham have to negotiate. So a much better line through there, and that's a good spot because he makes all his time right before the checkered flag.
Button now is only a second and a half behind Larry Ward. Emig is running 7th. Looks like he might have to go to the semifinal round again. Mike Brown, Kevin Windham, Ryan Hughes, Larry Ward, and now Jimmy Button moving into the scene. Oh, we might have a great finish again here in our qualifying round.
It's setting up for it. Button is aggressive. He'll get in there and do what it takes. He and Ward got together in Seattle. Ward won that battle.
Be aggressive.
2 laps to go. Be aggressive. You got to get out there and make something happen. I think what he's trying to tell Kevin is if he just sits back there and rides and waits for a mistake, Brown may not make it.
Ali Seymour, the mechanic of Kevin Windham, a good rider in his own right. And look at Windham. They bang bikes. He's trying to test Michael Brown. Ward taking advantage of it, tries to cut inside, moves into third. Now he's in a good battle with Ryan Hughes. Ward casing it a little bit. Moves back to third with Ryan right on his back tire.
There's just the musical bikes out there. Unbelievable, the position swapping. Button still has an opportunity right there behind Hughes.
Here's Jimmy Button making a move now, trying to close in on Ryan Hughes and Larry Ward. Oh, what a freight train we've got. Kevin Windham now. Kevin Windham in first place as they hit those hippity-hop whoops with Michael Brown moving back to second, Larry Ward in third. Anything can happen now. They're too close. 2 laps to go.
Beautiful shot. These guys are jumping a lot further off that triple than normal. To see that from underneath, you get a really good shot of how high and how far these guys are flying here. And that's going to get tougher to do through the night with the ruts.
The battle for the last qualifying position. Jimmy Button, he moves into 4th. White flag lap. 1 lap to go. Can Ryan Hughes get it back from the number 11 Chaparral Yamaha?
Well, Hughes is aggressive enough to do it.
Here he goes. Oh, what a nice move inside.
Now he's got to protect. Button made a mistake, left the door open. This is where Button's been making time. He goes wide, doubles this, actually triples it before the big triple. He's been making time there.
Wyndham still only 2 bike lengths ahead of Mike Brown. Leading this first qualifying heat. Brown tries to make a move to the left of Wyndham, but the number 8 Team Yamaha holds on. I think maybe he's trying to come back from a rather embarrassing moment earlier during introductions.
Unbelievable. Well, Kevin's been really perfecting the front wheel wheelie. He grabs the front brake and stands it up on the front wheel and rides it pretty far, and he went over the handlebars during the opening ceremonies. The bike just landed right on him.
And then beautifully played to the crowd. He didn't play to the crowd this time. He just stuck his mind on business. He takes the checkered flag with Mike Brown in second place, Larry Ward in third, Hughes qualifying in fourth in front of Button and John Dowd. So we will be right back as Marty Reed will be talking with Kevin Wyndham about both occasions, I assume, when we return to the Dome.
Come on back to the nifty 50s where classic American favorites like rock and roll oldies, hot apple pie, and fresh brewed coffee were king.
America's best diner is an authentic 50s diner where you'll be wowed by a famous Hubba burger. Fries with gravy and thick hand-dipped shakes and malts. Where everybody knows your name and breakfast is served all day. Step back in time for hearty portions of homemade food like Mom's meatloaf and real mashed potatoes. A great family value. Come on, Daddy-O, and cruise to America's best diner where the past comes alive.
What time is it?
I'd say it's time for some bristles and shears.
I'm not cutting my own hair.
No, silly. You need to go to Bristles and Shears Hair Design. That's where I go.
You know I need to look professional.
Relax. Their experienced staff is trained to listen first, then cut. You get your hair styled the way you want it, all done in a modern, comfortable atmosphere. They even have an esthetician.
A what?
A facial and skincare professional.
Oh, I knew that. Well, where is Bristles and Shears?
Next to Belfort Furniture and World Gym in Sterling.
Honey, where are my car keys?
What you wear? Yeah, you know, that's your style. The way you look is unique. The way you want to look, it's all in the gear.
It's comfortable. Look at this. This is street gear right here. This is how we play on my block. Represent the ladies.
As you all know that ladies also play basketball.
You got a dribble. You got the crossovers, the shot, the rebound, even the dunk. You got to use ability. You got to use your skills. You got to fly, man.
NBA authentic gear redesigned by Nike, Starter, and Champion.
The dream, man. You got to follow the dream.
In our opening qualifying round from the Georgia Dome here in Atlanta, Georgia, Kevin Wyndham showing that he would like to slow down the McGrath Express. Jeremy and the group, and you see here Wyndham, Brown, Ward, Hughes going right to the main event. But what a semifinal that leaves, not qualifying yet for the main. Emig, Button, Lamson, Dowd, and Albee. Marty.
Yeah, we're down here with very happy Kevin Wyndham. First off, a great battle. That's the closest heat race for the top 5 we've seen. What was it like from your seat?
It was tough. I was trying to get good lines to pass Brown, and he was riding a great race. And every time I tried something different, there was always someone on me. So you know, that was a great race. And you know, everybody was going fast. It should be a good night for the main.
I've got to bring up pre-race introductions. You went up on a front wheelie, went right over. Is that an omen now? You're going to have to do this all the time?
Well, I've been doing the nose wheelie quite a bit, and tonight it just got away from me. And you know, it's one of those things, we all make mistakes, and the crowd loves it. I just kind of got up, brushed off my shoulders. I'm not hurt or anything, didn't bend up the bike, so that's good. And the crowd seemed to love it, and you know, we're here to put on a show, and you know, having the fans behind you is great. I'm going to just go back, try to work on it a little better to where I don't crash, and you know, I'll keep doing it for sure.
Guys, he forgot one point. At the end, he also took a bow.
Yeah, it was great the way he played to the crowd. Ezra Lusk is the local favorite from Bainbridge, Georgia. After 2 wins and a second-place bad luck hit Ezra in a big way. He's hoping his native Georgia fans are going to help him get back on track here tonight.
I'm just really happy to be back in Georgia and definitely racing in Georgia. And it's been a year now, and you know, we drove up Thursday. Me and Doug Henry came down this week and rode with me for a little bit, and cruised up in his motorhome Thursday and did press day and just hung out. Weather's been great, so it's not the usual 20 below weather here in Atlanta.
As we get set for our second qualifying heat, and Ezra gets ready, here's Mike LaRocco. No Georgian has ever won the Atlanta Supercross, incidentally. Ezra would like to be the only exception. Damon Huffman, last year's winner, number 15, getting his goggles ready. Next to Ezra Lusk, number 3. LaRocco is number 5. The 32nd board is up. So beside McGrath, Lusk, and LaRocco and Huffman, we've got Mikel Pachon, Doug Henry, Sebastian Tortelli, who won the first round in Los Angeles, Jean-Sebastien Roy from Canada, Heath Voss, Tom Welch, Terlecki, Thomas Stone, Karsten trying to qualify not only in the 125s but also in the 250s tonight. He does that a lot in the Eastern Division. Graves, Strunk, Fournette, Tilden, Binkley, and we're off. Who's going to get that hole shot? Ezra Lusk, number 3, puts on the brakes. Tortelli gets right in front of him. So it's Tortelli 103 taking the lead with Doug Henry on the 4-stroke Yamaha in second place. Pachon, number 16, battling Ezra Lusk, number 3.
McGrath in 8th right now. He's going to have to work his way up. And Lusk came out of the gate, just shot out of a cannon. A perfect jump out of there, but just couldn't control the first corner. That's what happened to him in Indianapolis. He got in there good and got bounced around. First corner is going to be really important in the main event.
Jeremy's already moved into 5th place, so it's Tortelli along with Henry, Pachon, Lusk. And we anticipate a great battle between Jeremy McGrath and Ezra Lusk.
I think we're going to see it too. They're right together. McGrath is just behind Lusk. There you see him. They're both going for the inside there. They got to work their way through traffic.
Tortelli looking strong after coming off that ankle injury. Marty Reed.
Guys, one of the things about Tortelli, remember, this is his last race. He's been the high point for Team Kawasaki. He was 4th last week, but as we said, after this one, he heads back to Europe. They're going to miss him.
Yes, he goes back to fulfill his contractual agreements with the GP, the World Motocross Series. And it was once thought that Indianapolis would be his final race of the year, but he decided to stay on for one more. Team Kawasaki liked that idea, of course. Here comes Doug Henry. Henry in the whoop section. One of the most popular riders on the tour. Side by side, and Henry bursts out in front before the triple.
Look how close these guys all are. McGrath at the tail end of that.
Here comes Lusk. Lusk to the inside on Tortelli. Ezra Lusk moving into 2nd place, pleasing the Georgia fans. So it's now Henry. And it looks like this track is pretty good for Henry's 4-stroke.
Real good. He didn't look so good in the first practice, but in the second one, he may have either got his head screwed on right, went out there with a better attitude, more relaxed, or he made some changes to the bike, or both. But he looked fantastic the second practice, pulling away right now.
Henry the big lead. Mikel Pachon getting by his countryman Tortelli. Let's see if they hold at 3 and 4 with Jeremy McGrath on the bubble. McGrath out jumps Tortelli doing the triple. Tortelli only the double. And so it's now Henry, Lusk, Pachon, and McGrath in a qualifying spot.
McGrath tucking it around the inside right there. May feel like he's riding the Paris Supercross. He's got French riders all around him, trying to stay with Lusk. He can't let Lusk get away.
Doug Henry and Lusk solidly in number 1 and number 2 right now with 6 laps to go, but speedsters behind him. Here comes Jeremy to the inside. He takes the number 3 position now and has the bullseye on the back of Ezra Lusk.
Pachon didn't put up much of a fight there. He just was out wide. McGrath ran right through the inside, took that pass, no problem. Now he's going to try to stay glued to Lusk, learn as much as he can before the main, figure out where the passing is going to take place. He may not pass Lusk. Sometimes the guys will hold something like that up their sleeve until the main event.
So the red Georgia clay, seeing Jeremy McGrath trying to move up the ranks from 3rd with Ezra Lusk in 2nd.
Great technique right there by Jeremy. That berm, that left-hand corner back there is so close to the hay bales. He's got to use his body, stay leaned in, keep his line up straight. Keep his leg tucked in tight just to stay in that berm.
Last year's winner is in 7th. It's Doug Henry, and Lusk and Jeremy McGrath are pulling up a little bit on Henry.
And that's where Doug is making up his time. Before that left, he quadruples all those jumps. Everyone else is using that as 2 doubles. Doug was the only one I saw do that in practice, and he's still able to do it here in the race with the ruts.
5 laps remaining. And right now the top 4 are fairly well defined with Tortelli in 5th and LaRocco in 6th. We'll see if those positions hold when we get back to the Georgia Dome in Atlanta.
A fuel-injected 90-degree V-twin, an exotic all-aluminum truss frame, and a rear suspension so advanced it's patented. The 1997 Suzuki TL1000S A sport bike with such forward thinking, the rest of the world seems backwards. Buy one now and get a $400 gift certificate to spend on anything at your Suzuki dealership.
For over 30 years, Cycle News has been the weekly newspaper for motorcycle race fans. Results are official, point standings are current, and race coverage is timely and complete.
Oh, it was a great race, you know. I mean, it was an interesting race. And to win the last race and say, it's something I dreamed of when I was a little kid, is to be a Supercross star. And
Riding impressions, new products, events calendar, classified ads, and more. Cycle News, America's weekly motorcycle newspaper. Call 1-800-325-2925 or visit cyclenews.com on the World Wide Web.
Hi, my name is Rick, but everybody calls me The Rick. These are my sports figurines. Now, you know something, a lot of people call these dolls. They're not dolls, they're sports figurines. And I just want to get that straight. Okay, they're not toys, and they're not dolls. They're figurines. Hey, Curtis. That's Curtis Martin. Patriots.
Here's our Suzuki Field summary as we return to our action in the second qualifying round. Top 4 riders in line to move on to the main event. Lusk testing Henry now, showing him a tire.
After this triple, watch Henry on the inside. Well, now Lusk does it.
Ezra Lusk made the exact same move you said earlier Doug Henry was making. Henry tries to come back. They bang bikes a little bit. Ezra Lusk out in front here in the qualifying heat with McGrath in third.
Beautiful move. Lusk learned that from Doug. Doug that time apparently wasn't lined up in the right rut, didn't feel comfortable. Lusk went for it, and that was the difference. A lot faster if he can quadruple those jumps into the corner.
Well, the dark cloud has certainly been over Ezra Lusk's head in the last 2 rounds. There's no question about it. When he runs into a bale cover and it wraps around his front tire and he can't move in 2 races ago. And then last race he is banged into, goes down in the first turn, injured his hand. So Ezra now trying to fight back. Here's Henry in second with McGrath in third.
McGrath had a couple of laps right there where he wasn't able to stay with the group. But he is learning everything. You can see all those guys jumping what they're jumping, and he'll take notes on that for the main.
Number 3, Ezra Lusk. His mechanic is Mike Gosler.
Yeah, Mike, we were worried about his injury on his hand. Obviously, the answer is he's feeling pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like he's feeling pretty good. He's pulling out some pretty good laps, trying some things I haven't seen him do in practice, so he must be feeling pretty good.
We'll let you get back to it. He's running at about a 57-second clip, guys. In fact, he's showing him a 56 next time by.
And we've got less than 2 laps remaining.
It's unbelievable that Lusk has just pulled away from these guys, and he is jumping some more stuff. If we can get a look at it before the finish, if he chooses to do it again, he may not want to show these guys, but he is jumping some stuff that I haven't seen yet either, and he's making up an amazing amount of time. 59-second lap times in that first heat race, and Doug was turning 59.5, but obviously not fast enough. Now he's getting challenged by Jeremy.
Here comes Jeremy McGrath, just barely getting around a flagger. McGrath takes the lead, still having trouble getting in front of Doug Henry as they approach the white flag lap. Ezra Lusk coming over the finish line, takes the white flag as we watch the battle for second place. McGrath to the inside. The power of the 4-stroke, though.
Well, the energy that takes. Jeremy just one little mistake by Doug.
Doug doesn't have the acceleration coming from that mistake to retake second place. So Jeremy McGrath now a long way to go on the last lap. He'll probably settle for the second place.
I think he will. That section approaching the finish line jump, Jeremy jumped all the way up to the top and then just hitting the tops of all those. There's like 5 more whoop-de-doos that are huge going into the corner and just slamming the tops of all of them, but it set him up perfect for a pass.
Great shot of Doug Henry coming right at us, number 19 on the Yamaha. On the final lap of this second qualifying heat, LaRocca was moved into 5th.
This is the section. Well, Lusk didn't do it that time. He's been jumping from that approach all the way over everything into the corner, one jump farther than anyone tonight. That's where he's making up so much time.
Saving it until he needs it. So Ezra Lusk takes the checkered flag. This is the 4th heat win for Ezra on the year. Ezra Lusk in front of his native Georgia fans. We'll be right back. Marty will be talking to Ezra, and we'll get the semifinal round started when we return.
Now is the time to train for the career you've always wanted. Just ask Motorcycle Mechanics Institute graduate Al Luddington, now lead mechanic for Honda's championship-winning Smokin' Joe's Superbike team.
MMI gave me the knowledge and training to take me to the top of my profession. It's a great place to start, and I recommend it to anybody looking to kick off a career in motorcycle mechanics or the personal watercraft industry.
Change your life with one phone call, 1-800-994-3664. That's 1-800